One of the biggest irritations that we get from some of our clients is when it comes tax time, they come in, they get their taxes done, and we call them and tell them how much they owe. And they are not happy with what that tax bill is. It's not our fault. We're the ones that are just doing the taxes with the information we were given. One of the ways that they can avoid this is by doing tax planning. Tax planning, it may not decrease their tax bill, but at least they're aware. We're going to dive into what exactly tax planning looks like so you can decide if it's something that you want to reach out to your tax preparer to get done for you.
Debbie, what is a tax planner?
So a tax planner is whenever you're, hopefully, as a business owner, keeping accurate books and records throughout the year, and let's say it's September 30th. That's usually a really good time frame. If you're not doing it quarterly, let's go ahead and pick September 30th to do that. And you can take your accurate books and records to your tax preparer. They can see where your year's at, what your net income looks like so far, and then you all can discuss what you think the next 3 months of the year is going to be like, and then they can take those numbers and decide what it's looking like that you're going to owe for taxes. Definitely not as simple as what I just said, always. There's a lot more that goes into it, but that's the basics. As you're taking what you've already done for the year, projecting out the rest of the year, and then doing a tax planner, which is actually doing a mock-up tax return for the next year.
Yes. So there's some few big benefits you're going to get from these tax planners. So Nicole, you ready to take some of those?
A tax planner kind of touches on, for me, I think why I get worked up and fired up the most about my job. It takes a step away from just compliance, just doing the bookkeeping, you're just keeping records, compliance. Tax planning takes it up a notch. You're looking forward, you're looking ahead, you're planning. There should be no surprises at the end of the year when it comes tax time. If you're keeping books and records, there are people out there in your corner that will be there to walk you through, okay, well, here's what it looks like where you're going to end up being. Where can we take certain steps to alleviate this burden or, plan accordingly for such a burden.
So what happens if I know my year's been good because I've been in business for a while. I know it's a good year. I can tell just by my bank account or how business is going that it's a good year. So I know that I need to buy a piece of equipment, and it's a pretty large piece of equipment. So would that be a good thing for me to come and see you for to get a tax planner done?
Absolutely. Because there's questions, like, are you buying that equipment just to buy that equipment?
Right.
Will it benefit you to buy, or can we take other steps?
There's a lot of times people will come in and they'll be like, well, I don't want to pay you taxes, so I need to buy something. My favorite line is, tax is not 100% of what you make. Mm-hmm. And whenever you buy that piece of equipment or whatever it may be that can help reduce your tax burden, it's not dollar for dollar. You're only saving your tax rate. So it's always helpful to get that planning done.
Something else with your tax planning that's going to be big is, like you said, I've had a good year. You know what? I want to get rid of some of this debt, help my cash flow in the future. Well, getting this tax planning done is going to help you plan for that cash flow now, knowing that if I write a $20,000 check, which is my profit, to pay off this loan, I still have to pay taxes on that $20,000. So if you don't have that money in your bank account anymore because you paid off a loan, what are you going to do on April 15th? That's also things that tax planning can help. It's not always going to save you in taxes, but it will at least let you know where you're going to owe in taxes, because outside of equipment purchases and a few things like that, there's not much can actually be, like, we can't, as accountants, can't change your tax burden. It is what it is. You make your money, go make it, but pay the taxes. You're going to owe taxes. So do these tax letters to plan accordingly. So come April 15th, you know what kind of check you're going to write, or hopefully you're paying those quarterly estimates and not writing any checks on April 15th. So this is what the tax planning gets you, is maybe not saving money, but allowing you to save money to pay the taxes.
And it also steps into, like, on your estimates. If you're doing a tax planner, okay, well, it's been a really good year. You do tax planner, we can bump your estimate up. Okay, well, you're going to end up owing more, or the other way, like, maybe it wasn't such a good year as last year, and your quarterly estimates were calculated based off the prior year. So do a tax planner, step that estimate back. Well, that's money that you can put elsewhere into your business. You can earmark it for something other than taxes. And that planner gives you the peace of mind to make those decisions in your business with confidence because you've done the work.
One of the things I'm hearing here is all the things that we can advise and help you with to save taxes. But you said a key thing is like when it comes tax time, once that bell strikes at midnight on December 31st, there is not a whole lot we can do to help you save taxes at that point. The year is over. All we can do is be like, here's what you owe. And then when you're upset with us because we didn't help you, we'll come get a tax planner done before the end of the year so you know where you're at. And one of the things you touched on was that cash flow. I don't know how many times I have had to tell someone that their debt reduction, where they paid down principal on a loan, is not a deduction. And so they've paid that down, the cash flows went out the door, but they still owe the taxes. So it's always a good idea before you take a big leap like that to get some advice. What are some other times or life events that would actually, besides wanting to buy equipment or having a big tax bill, what are some other reasons we would want to get a tax planner done so we would know where we're at?
So some of the big things are going to be like a death in the family or divorce, things like those big life-changing moments. Like someone's died and you've inherited something, or you're getting divorced, assets are being split up, like things like that, those big moments.
Right, because tax planner doesn't always have to be done just in connection with a business. It can still be done for personal people. Retirement's a big one.
Yes.
A lot of times with retirement, where you're retiring from, you may get a lump sum of money. That requires tax planning. You want to make sure that you are taking advantage of the things that are there for you to minimize your taxes as much as possible.
Investments, so you bought GameStop earlier this year and bought low, sold high, and you made a ton of money, and you're like, well, I made this money. Then April 15th, you're like, oh, what do I do now? That's also a good time to do a tax planner. So it doesn't just have to be you're a business owner, you have retired, you've done these other bad things have happened. Maybe you've just been dabbling in day trading and some things like that. Well, you happen to hit it big. You're going to pay taxes on that money. And so these tax planners, it's a good time to start talking about those things.
Another reason to get a tax planner would be, like we've just experienced, we just went through COVID, there was a lot of tax law changes associated with that, and which may affect your bottom line, which would have been a good tax planner incident.
Yeah, so anytime laws change, especially when it comes to tax law, they can affect you as a individual, a business owner, just as a taxpayer. Tax law affects you. It may not seem that way, but it does. So if you hear some hints of stuff going on, or if you're not even sure, just call your accountant. If you don't have one, get one. Watch our videos on how to choose the right accountant, what's the differences. But call them, ask them, do you think I need a tax planner because of these things? And they're going to tell you yes or no. If you've got a good account, they're not just going to say yes to get you to write a check. They're going to actually be able to help you. So if in any of these things, just call your accountant. They will be the best person to tell you if you need one or should get one. So make that phone call.
So to wrap up, it's always a good idea to be ahead of the game. Know what you're going to owe in taxes. Don't wait until it's time to write that check. It's going to take the stress off of you, and it's going to be able to give you knowledge to plan for the future. So thank you for watching, and make sure that you like our videos and subscribe to our channel.